Hi all, today we will be discussing properties in detail. Please stay tuned and watch this video till the end. Let's have this discussion divided into a list of questionnaires, and as we proceed, let's answer each of these questions, which will help us in understanding this topic in a more precise way. Why do we need properties in C#? In order to encapsulate and protect the data members, i.e. fields or variables, of a class, we use properties in C#. The properties in C# are used as a mechanism to set and get the values of data members of a class outside of that class. If a class contains any values in it, and if we want to access those values outside of that class, then we can provide access to those values in two different ways. They are as follows. By storing the value under a public variable, we can give direct access to the value outside of the class. By storing that value in a private variable, we can also give access to that value outside of the class by defining a property for that variable. What is a property in C#? A property in C# is a member of a class that is used to set and get the data from a data field, i.e. variable, of a class. The most important point that you need to remember is that a property in C# is never used to store any data. It just acts as an interface or medium to transfer the data. We use the properties as they are public data members of a class, but they are actually special methods called accessors. What are accessors in C#? The accessors are nothing but special methods which are used to set and get the values from the underlying data member, i.e. variable, of a class. Accessors are of two types. They are as follows: set accessor and get accessor. What is a set accessor? The set accessor is used to set the data, i.e. value, into a data field, i.e. a variable of a class. This set accessor contains a fixed variable named value. Whenever we call the property to set the data, whatever data value we are supplying will come and store inside the variable called value by default. Using a set accessor, we cannot get the data. What is a get accessor? The get accessor is used to get the data from the data field, i.e. variable of a class. Using the get accessor, we can only get the data, we cannot set the data. What are the different types of properties supported by C#.net? The C#.net supports 4 types of properties. They are as follows: read-only property, write-only property, read-write property, auto-implemented property. What is read-only property? The read-only property is used to read the data from the data field, i.e. read the data of a variable. Using this read-only property, we cannot set the data into the data field. This property will contain only one accessor, i.e. get accessor. What is write-only property? The write-only property is used to write the data into the data field, i.e. write the data to a variable of a class. Using this write-only property, we cannot read the data from the data field. This property will contain only one accessor, i.e. set accessor. What is the read-write property? The read-write property is used for both reading the data from the data field as well as writing the data into the data field of a class. This property will contain 2 accessors, i.e. set and get. The set accessor is used to set or write the value to a data field, and the get accessor is used to read the data from a variable. What are the advantages of using properties in C#? Properties will provide the abstraction to the data fields. They also provide security to the data fields. Properties can also validate the data before storing it in the data fields. What is the default accessibility modifier of accessors in C#? The default accessibility specifier of the accessor is the same as the accessibility specifier of the property. What are symmetric and asymmetric accessors in C#? If the accessibility specifier of the accessors, both get and set, are the same within a property accessibility specifier, then the accessors are known as symmetric accessors. On the other hand, if the accessibility specifier of the accessors is not the same as a property accessibility specifier, then the accessors are known as asymmetric accessors. What are auto-implemented properties in C#? If you do not have any additional logic while setting and getting the data from a data field, i.e. from a variable of a class, then you can make use of the auto-implemented properties, which was introduced as part of C# 3.0. The auto-implemented property in C# reduces the amount of code that we have to write. When we use auto-implemented properties, then the C# compiler implicitly creates a private, anonymous field or variable for that property behind the scene, which is going to hold the data. Why do we need properties in real-time applications? Declaring the class fields or variables as public and exposing those fields or variables to the outside world, which means outside of the class, is bad, as we do not have any control over what gets assigned and what gets returned. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more such videos. See you all in my next video with one more new topic. Please hit like, share, subscribe to support this channel.